You're listening to the Urban Sports Scene. I'm Wole, but my homie Ray G's out. But hopefully we'll have him back. It's been New Year, so I'm guessing my homie's celebrating. But yeah, we're gonna have him back eventually. But yeah, I've been tired. I ain't gonna hold y'all, man. I just finished the workout, so I'm trying to get my life in order. But yeah, you can check us out on our website, which is www.urbansportscene.com. It's the Commanders preview show. The Commanders taking on Dallas Cowboys on Sunday. Before we talk about the game, let's knock out some logistics. Subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, hit that red subscribe button. Also, like this video. That's amazing for the Commanders algorithm on YouTube because that stuff be acting real funny. So anytime you see us with Commanders content, hit a like button, hit us with a comment. That should do wonders for the YouTube Commanders algorithm. Don't forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene. I like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Also join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. You can also check out our weekly NFL picks on the Football Garbage Time website, which is www.footballgarbagetime.com. It's part of the Urban Sports Scene versus Football Garbage Time Challenge. Pick'em challenge. I'm horrible. I'm trash in that joint. I won't even lie to y'all. Like I felt like I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't usually quit in life, but I kind of like quit because I'm over it. I was that bad this year, so it is what it is. Hey, anyway, let's get into our tradition. The pregame. Here's what we have on tap. Host of Trap or Dive podcast, Jamual Forrest, will join me to talk about the Commanders' upcoming game against the Dallas Cowboys. But let me introduce the homie right now. What is going on, Maul? How you doing, bro?
I'm all right, big dog. Appreciate you having me, man. How you feeling?
I'm good, bro. I'm glad to have you on, man. I know I had you on the other podcast for the All Burgundy and Gold everything years ago. But I'm glad to have you on this one, bro. Because I like your style, bro. I ain't gonna hold y'all. I like y'all. I like y'all team. Y'all team is me.
I appreciate it, man. It has been a little minute. I don't even remember what year it was. I just remember sitting in the living room, chopping it up to like 10 at night, going through the whole mob.
I know it was a minute, bro. I can't even tell you what year it was. I know like I enjoyed your content. I do know that I enjoyed it. But before on this pod, it's a little different from the other pod that we did. But I still want you to tell our listeners about your podcast.
So I mean, Trap or Dive is all things Commanders. And then we do go around the NFL weekly as well. So I mean, obviously the base of the show is Commanders content. You can find that 3-4 days out of the week, honestly. And then with the all 32, you get that once a week covering the NFL, going through the gambling angles and things like that. But obviously the base of the show is content centered around the Commanders. And we just chop it up three good men. Talking, have our own opinions, strong opinions, and just a natural flowing group like that, man. So it's good vibes over there.
I just love when homies talk about football, bro. I just love that platform. I just love it. I'm a big believer in that. You know what I'm saying? Dudes, you're going into this space, chopping it up, even if it's about Commanders or whatever. You know what I mean? Just I like that. You know what I'm saying? Because there's not a lot of us out there.
I mean, for real, it really ain't. I mean, you got to go to. It sucks that you got to go to. I mean, I'll talk about this for sure. It sucks you got to go to YouTube. I mean, it doesn't suck, but you get what I'm saying. Like,
I know what I'm saying.
Your outlet is YouTube and all those things. But you really get those opportunities like on bigger platforms. No matter how good you are as a creator, no matter how good your voice is in terms of your opinions and how how you say things. If you ain't got no former player background, they don't want to hear from you. That's the sad part about it.
Yeah, it's the truth. It's funny because I know I've been podcasting since I'm gonna age myself. It is what it is. It's I want to say 2007, 8 or something like that. And like a bunch of my homies, we went to HBC. You went to University of Maryland Eastern Shore, and
that's where I started.
You saw Shore?
I started at UMES.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. That's what's up. So we were like sitting back, we was chilling, and we was like, yo, there ain't nobody out here. Because you listen to radio back then. We listened to radio a lot. And we were like, ain't nobody like us out here or nobody look like us that's not a football player or you know what I'm saying, or a former athlete that can kind of do sports talk. They're not doing sports talk. We were like, let's just try to do like a podcast or something, just see if we can kind of get ourselves ready for that type of realm, right? Mm-hmm. And that was like years ago, and it's kind of still the same, right? You know what I'm saying? Other than you said, this platform. You know what I'm saying? Other than this platform, to your point, like folks ain't really thriving. Yourself, you're thriving. You're doing pretty well. I've seen your content. You're thriving. A lot of other individuals are thriving, which I'm so happy about. But like in the grand scheme of things, you sit back and you're like on like folks on the radio. You're like, there ain't a lot of folks that look like us, which is wild, though.
I mean, I was gonna say honestly, bro. I do. It is perspective. Like I understand. Like I'm fortunate. Like I'm a humble dude, man, and I'm always grateful for the people who do support the show, who do support the content. But the grand scheme of things, to your point, like I didn't even know you've been doing it that long. Like I know podcasts, like I get surprised by how long podcasts have been out every time somebody tell me how long they've been doing podcasts, right? So like you say 07, I'm like, bro, I thought it came out in 2013. So I'm like, damn, like how long people really been doing podcasts? Right. But like I hear things like that, and it's to your point, like when and it's the kind of I know I'm gonna repeat myself, but it really is like when you put your resume out there, like from a skill set standpoint, and that no matter who you reach out to, like it's hard to like take them next levels up until like social media helps people nowadays because you can put out like pieces of your content, and if people pull to it, they that's what people care about, like the higher ups who can really bring you in somewhere. But like from people that look like us. Like I've been around long enough to make like to understand that you ain't. It's hard. Like matter of fact, the DMV. I just put it this way: they stick with what they know when it comes to black people. Yes. Like they stick to who they know and what they know, and all they know is people who have blood, sweat, and tears in terms of the burgundy and gold. And it's nothing wrong with them. It's the decision makers. Like they don't really want to take those leaps with people who really can do some things if you give them that opportunity. But it is what it is, bro. That's why we got YouTube, I guess. Hey,
shout out to my man Paul, giving you your flowers. Question, Jay, enjoy your articles. You still writing? Yeah, ask me.
Yeah, still writing. Yeah. I'm still with Hog Saving. I still write. This week I ain't gonna lie to you. I was off from work and I was off from Hog Saving. I did like 1 or 2 articles from Hog Saving, but yes, I still write for him. You can find my. I do like podcast pieces out there with like some short blurbs in my opinion, but then I also do film sessions too. So I'll still do my film sessions on there, and I'll put some articles out there like related to the podcast. But it's opinionated pieces with the podcast attached to it. So I'm still out there, man. I still write.
How like when you're cutting up film and breaking it down, have you always been to that, or is it something that you kind of like grew into it?
Hey, grew into it. Honestly, bro, like it's the same story with the trying to level up. Like how do you kind of like truth be told, like I started that like 2023. No, 2022. Yeah, I think 2022 now. I forget how long it's been. Like a couple years. Let's just say a couple years. But honestly, bro, it's like I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a hardcore fan, bro, of football, of the sport itself. And like I always knew what I saw, but I'll be lying to you if I knew what I was looking at all the time. I was ignorant to things that I was seeing, but I understood it like visually. But I was like, let me learn the language, let me learn the science of football. And I went to the Scouting Academy. I went to the Scouting Academy. I did a semester there. I was good enough to get picked up to do this project with NFL teams and do like further scouting reports. So it's something that I picked up, but I did that because like people in our space love to talk about the game, quite frankly. But honestly, bro, like there's not many people out there who really like breaks down the film and know what they're talking about when they do it. So I wanted to like, if I'm gonna do this, let me actually learn what I'm looking at. Let me learn what I know, and I'm gonna share what I know to the people that watch me and support me. Now, granted, I'm not gonna know everything still, but I'm gonna share with y'all what I see, and I'm gonna make sure that we both get educated in this process, and that's kind of how I did that. So that the whole goal with that was just like, let me try to like promote, like build to my resume. And hope, that I can market myself to the point where I can get on these platforms that they still not taking me on. So, it's just, it is what it is, bro. Maybe I just suck at marketing myself. I don't know, bro.
I don't think you do. I don't think you suck at marketing yourself. I do think that you found a good niche at it from what I've seen. Like you found a good niche to a point where like I feel like folks in the space know who you are. You know what I'm saying? I know like when I start, I always do this when I get somebody new to the pod. like to this particular pod. I'm like, yeah, introduce your pod to the audience. But to be real with you, and I'm gonna keep it 100, keeping a buck. I don't feel like I gotta do that with you. I feel like people on the platform know what time it is. They know who you are. You know what I'm saying? So they know when in that space, they know who you are. You know what I'm saying? I think you've done a great job marketing yourself, to be real with you. I feel like, yeah, I think, and don't get it twisted. If those folks ain't trying to peep you, they know who you are. I'll say that much.
Yeah. I it's funny enough, I ain't even gonna lie to you, Wole. Like, this is just something I think part of the reason why I think like that is because I don't like talking about myself. Like, I just do my work and I like to go back into my own little bubble. But I do know, like, the work I do, some people, I know there are people who don't intentionally acknowledge me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's personal or if it's like I don't want to give the person credit, but I see the work that they're doing and I appreciate it. I have no idea what the purpose is, but like I know there's people in the space who they know. And I'm okay with knowing that. But I do think it does get frustrating sometimes, like from a creator standpoint.
Of course,
like for me, but from a creator standpoint, it's like, bro, like the work that you put out there sometimes, like if you ain't on a certain platform, then these things get pushed to the wayside, and that goes with you, and the work that you do. Like I was when I saw you doing the sideline interviews, I'm like, oh, my boy finally got access, bro. He's doing the training camp interviews. I think that one of the ones I saw, not even with the intro, but like I think Cole Turner wasn't cut yet. So
yeah, he wasn't cut yet.
Cole or on the practice squad, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So like I was like, all right, so that's the first one I saw. You did a couple more. I was like, that's the first one I saw. I was like, he finally got the access to, because I know it's a process. Like they real meticulous about who they want to bring up on those. Yeah, so it's like it's good to know that you at least got in there and was able to start talking to players, bro. Because you've been doing this I know you've been doing this for a long time.
So I'm gonna give you keep the base. So I used to do it a lot, actually. I used to go to games
before 2020, right?
Yeah, I used to cover it before 2020. Yeah,
I know. I was out there too before 2020.
I was in there. I was there for like the Kirk Cousins postseason, all that stuff. Yeah, but yeah, things happen.
Yep. You ain't even got to talk, bro. I was part when I used to write for Sports Illustrated too. Yeah. And when I got the boot from Sports Illustrated and whoever was in charge, I know his name. Yeah, he gave me the details of why I'm getting booted. It wasn't his fault, but he had to tell me. I was like, I see what time y'all on.
Yeah, they was on. Let's just say, like, there was a cool, like, let me say this much. There was a cool dude that used to, that got all the brothers involved, like, to make sure they got the opportunity to cover brothers and sisters.
Yeah. Wait, was it Wiley?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because I knew Wiley. I'm about to say, because when Wiley was around, like, Wiley ain't know me from a can of paint, bro. But every time I was down in Richmond, bro, like, we have a conversation, chop it up for a little bit. We be at Mama J's.
The coolest dude,
bro. I was like, hey, bro, like, and then he went to NBC.
Yep. The coolest dude. I told man, the coolest dude. Like, and HBCU alum too as well.
I didn't even know that. I ain't even get that. I was talking to him, but yeah, he was cool, bro.
He would look out for you. It doesn't even matter what you were, a content creator or like a small market, big market. Yep. He didn't care. So, but yeah, man, he was.
Shout out to T Dubs, man.
Yeah, shout out to T Dubs. Wow, he texts me once in a while. We have like wild conversations. Cool,
that's
dude,
good, man.
Cool dude. But actually, I'm supposed to have him on the show. I gotta schedule that one for some HBC stuff. But yeah, man. But yeah, hopefully, I think eventually I think it'll change for you. I think you'll be able to, because of the work you do. I think I believe in claiming. I believe you will, though. I believe you will.
I'm not going to say anything negative. I appreciate the good vibes. Yeah. Nah, for real, I appreciate the good vibes, bro. I leave it at that, man. I appreciate the support. And I did see the comment from person saying I was one of best writers on Hog Save, and that means a lot. So I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, bro. So, but yeah, so I'm just making sure, letting you know, like I feel like eventually that stuff will kind of change over, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, so let's get into Sunday, man. Sunday, the Commanders I mentioned, they take on the Dallas Cowboys. This team has already clinched the playoffs and are currently the 6th seed. Do you want this team to go through this game full throttle, healthily full throttle? I'll put it that way.
To an extent, I think that Washington should be. I think Dan Quinn put it in a perspective that I didn't even think about before the game. Before he spoke, excuse me. But before he spoke, like I was like, yeah, why wouldn't you want to claim the 6th seed? And I was thinking from a standpoint of you want to get to the playoffs, like not necessarily like benching your players and going cold, but like you really want to make sure y'all iron out some things before y'all get into the playoffs, like from an actual performance standpoint. But one thing that Dan Quinn said that stuck with me was him acknowledging like you never know how the playoffs are going to unfold, and if you get if you fall to the 7th seed, you ain't gonna have no home game at all. So like that was just one other angle where I really bought into. Now, granted, the odds of having a home game as the 6th seed is low, but the mentality of how deep he's thinking into the situation tells me that he's completely locked in on every scenario in the playoffs, and that's a level of detail that many people don't really take into account. So when I say something like that, I think about like I think they need to go full throttle up until the point where they know that they got the game in hand, and Dallas Cowboys ain't gonna lay down. So if it goes into the 4th quarter, they probably end up playing into the 4th quarter. Like they start as the main players. But if they have like a 2-3 touchdown lead going into halftime, maybe going into the 4th quarter, then I can see them like starting to pull their starters out, getting ready for the postseason. But there's no scenario before Dan Quinn spoke and after Dan Quinn spoke where I said that none of these players should be sitting on the bench. Everybody need to play, Brad, because they don't even have a run game right now. And what I mean by that specifically is the running backs themselves. Jaden Daniels is the running game.
Yeah.
If you can't dominate in the trenches, or if you can't find your way back to how things were prior to B-Rob really having that extended absence and things like that, you can't run the game. If you can't run the ball in the playoffs, bro, you're in trouble.
I agree with that.
And the same thing defensively. If you can't stop the run, you in trouble. So you need to figure these things out in week 18 against Dallas. Not to say that it's going to be a permanent fix, but you got to have some positive momentum going into the playoffs. And I think this is probably the best case scenario to get that done.
Yeah, the only reason why I say that, because for me, like, I don't really care about the and it's wild for me to say this because I would never say this in life.
You're not wrong. I know what you're saying.
I don't care about the Cowboys game. I really don't really care about, like, the most important game to me is next Sunday or Saturday, whatever they're gonna play. So like, that's the most important game to me. And I think this is the realest thing for real. Everybody else can play. The only person who can't play, everybody else I don't care about playing. The only person I worry about playing is Jaden. That's the only person I care about. And I feel like, to me, I would like personally to have Jaden do a half, and everybody else can play for all I care. To be honest. And what that encompasses, that obviously if Jaden plays, the whole line has to play when he's playing. Like, I need that whole line of whoever is healthy to play, who's really healthy, who can play, should play, because I need him protected. Also, secondly, if he's going to play, I ain't gonna hold you. I don't need the running plays. Like, I mean, not him going all script. That's fine. I don't need that many scripted running plays, to be real with you. Like, especially going into the teeth of the defense. I don't need anything fluke happening. Like, and you know what I mean? Because again, I get it. Like, you want to prepare like you're really trying to win a football game. That's how you should as a coach, I coach basketball, so I get it. Like, that's how you want to go into a game. But knowing that what this dude brings to your point, what this dude brings to the table in terms of your whole offense, like, he is your running game, he is your passing game. Like, God forbid, I'm not going to say it because I don't want to do it, but just say something. Say like, I need him in the postseason, and I need him in the postseason at his finest health wise.
Yeah, it'll be. I mean, honestly, yeah, you can say it because it ain't our control, bro. I'm dead serious. Like,
you don't say it, though, right?
Yeah, if he get hurt, bro, like, he was going to get hurt regardless, and it ain't got nothing to do with us. And I think the unfortunate thing is it's going to hurt us as a fan base. Is if he misses an extended time, or if he comes into the playoff limping, that's gonna really hurt us. Yeah. Especially with how the momentum is, and just knowing who Jaden is as a person, as a player, and seeing like his competitive nature, and knowing just how willing he is to put his body on the line just to win. But I think and I'm actually like, if they decide that, because the thing is, pressures, we know at this point, they can give you a spiel and not be telling the full truth behind it. True. They may have every intention on playing the starters for like a quarter.
Good point.
And sitting them. They may play them a whole half and then just sit the guys. So like we don't know their full intention going into the game, but they probably want the Dallas Cowboys to prepare a certain type of way because that's something they just don't want to they don't want to give to the Cowboys. And I think for from that angle in itself, you're not necessarily wrong. It's all an opinion based thing. Like I prefer them to play until they get a lead and just get some things fixed. But if their plan is if their plan all along was to play a quarter, play 2 quarters, get them out, hey. It is what it is, bro. Y'all just y'all better buckle up and make sure that y'all ready to go next week, bro. And make sure, like I said, make sure them trenches are in order.
Yeah, I think that's the most important thing to me. I agree with you. When you talk about that, like I feel like though that part of the unit, like the offensive line, running backs, obviously the defensive line, which has always been a problem stopping the run the whole season, like that needs to be ironed out. I agree with you that wholeheartedly. I feel like because I've said this before in the past, like you ain't stopping the run, you ain't advancing in nothing in the playoffs. I don't care about what you think. Like you're not advancing in the playoffs. Period. Like the way they play defense, stopping the run, you not going far.
Yeah, that's the thing that concerns me. Like I think about Johnny Newton, Daron Payne, and I mean it's good to have Jonathan Allen back because you can get more versatile in terms of how you align. And I think one of the biggest adjustments that we saw is something that they did prior to John Allen getting hurt was to having that 3 defensive tackle alignment when you had all 3, John Allen, Daron Payne, and Johnny Newton on the field at the same time. And like what that does, like when you can isolate Daron Payne on the edge, you can avoid the double teams, right? Or if you get a combo block, it's going to be with a tight end and a tackle, and it's not going to be from a guard and a tackle or a center and a guard combination block and things like that. So you can take on things better. You can secure the edge a little bit better. And for Washington, having those interiors guys getting killed on double teams, like you got Johnny Newton. It's a little because I feel like sometimes when I talk about him, like it can sound all bad because like he flashes, he's quick, he's a penetrator, he can get upfield, right? But they pick on him in the run game, bro. And the thing is, they pick on him in the run game, and teams aren't scared of Daron Payne. And this is before John Allen came back. So teams aren't scared of Daron Payne, and they pick on Johnny Newton. Like I remember, I think it was the Saints game in crunch time. It was like their last drive, and they ran it with who was the running back behind Alvin Kamara?
It's not the kid that used to play for they used to play for the. That's not Williams.
It's funny though because he runs smack like Kamara too. But I forgot his name. But people in the chat, if y'all want to look him up, he told it. They told it on us, bro. And those runs came right down Johnny Newton's gap. They just said we're gonna double him, get him out the way, and we're gonna run for 6-7 yards throughout the whole drive and get him down the field. But teams do that, and it's not just New Orleans Saints. And I think for Washington, when you have a person like that, like I say, he can make some plays and he has some strengths, bro. But I think for a person like that, who doesn't really have the strength to withstand or stalemate double teams, like a great example, if you do watch tape, is like looking at Grady Jarrett and how he can do things at the line of scrimmage. Like his strength, and again, Grady Jarrett, he a superstar, he's elite. But that's a good example of what it looks like to defeat double teams and combination blocks. It's like having those techniques, having those slippery skills to get underneath blocks, to stalemate blocks, to get the offensive lineman in the way of the running back, right? To try and stop the offense. And I think for Washington, unfortunately, that just doesn't exist in the interior. And while they have decisions to make in the offseason, they need to find a workaround in the postseason to try and get themselves to advance to each round.
Now, I don't think it's hating or sound negative about Johnny because I like Johnny a lot. I'm a Big Ten dude, like Michigan, and I thought Johnny was going to be. I mean, I like Johnny coming out of Illinois, but I was like, because folks when they were so excited Johnny was coming back, it was going to play. Folks were like, he's going to be better than Jonathan Allen, all this other stuff, and I was like, pump your brakes, come off injury.
Yeah,
he's come off injury. That's and it was severe enough for him to miss some real time, and then I was like. Let's see how he's going to play, and and like you said, he's flash, but also like he's a rookie, like he's a rookie who's coming off an injury. So I just I think people should temper the expectations. So when you do talk, and you ain't talking negative, you just keep it in the being like they are attacking him, and it is a thing. But he has flash those two at the same time. So I think to your point though, I think it's something they're going to have to iron out. I do think it's good to have Jonathan Allen back as another body. again, he's coming off injury, so you don't know. My expectations wouldn't be so high with him. And I think
Condre Miller.
Condre Miller.
But
yes,
yeah,
Paul, yeah.
shout out to Paul. Yeah, that's who the running back was.
Miller, yeah. So, but yeah, I totally agree. Telly, what's going on? Telly said the way Cliff was sounding, they trying to put up 50 against Dallas. Well, I hope they do, bro. I hope.
Hey, I think so too, bro. I think the way he because one of the things that was very interesting when I talk about Dan and how he felt about the 6 seed, his coordinators echoed the same thing in their pressers. Like Joe Witt, he was all over. He's like, man, we fighting for this 6 seed. And Cliff Kingsbury, he's all locked in on fixing things in the trenches too, and trying to get things ironed out before the playoffs start. So, yeah, I don't like 50 may be a lofty goal with the uncertainty about who's playing and who's not, but hey, I can see them putting up a 40 burger.
Look, man, I'm gonna be real with you. If I like to come out of college. If Trey Lance is playing, they better they don't need to worry about playing anybody. I'm gonna be real. Trey Lance playing, they don't got to worry. And because CeeDee Lamb ain't playing, if Trey Lance ain't playing, if Trey Lance is starting,
he's bad.
If Jaden is playing, they better be up 20 in the first half. Like they better be up 20 in the first half.
Trey Lance is bad.
He's bad, bro.
And it's safe to say that he had 3-4 years in the league now.
Yeah.
San Fran gave him every chance in the world to be good. And he either sucked or he kept getting hurt.
Yep. And so I'm just saying, like, if we're not blowing him out.
That is a good point, though, because what they did say it's still up in the air in terms of Cooper or okay.
So if he playing, Jane better get a quarter. That's all I'm saying. Like it should be that bad.
Yeah, I know one thing. That get the defense some confidence going. let them get a couple picks. They're gonna be feeling fresh.
Bro, it's gonna get 25 confidence.
Look, if you see the field, bro, think about it like this. Mike Davis was so bad against the Atlanta Falcons, and they still said we want him in over Ben. Yes. Like they didn't put Ben in the game. It was Mike Davis. It was Sam Steele. It was Noah Igbinoghene. And they had Chen playing in the slot sometimes. They had Quan playing in the slot sometimes. But it was when they had Ben in, it was because Mike got hurt. And when Mike was when Mike was healthy enough to come back in, they said, "All right, Ben, your time's up. Get back to the sideline, bro." Crazy. And I think that's and then when Marshawn come in, Ben ain't seeing no time.
He no time. Yep.
He on the bench with Mike.
Yep.
And I think honestly, bro, it would give him confidence. And honestly, if they do end up benching some of the starters, you're gonna get Ben. You're gonna see Ben gonna see some time. But it is unfortunate to see he on his last year's deal, so it's unfortunate to see the way things turn out for him. It is what it is. But when they can't trust you on the field, no matter how good you do, because Ben ain't a bad person in coverage. If the ball ain't thrown to him, that's what I always say. The ball ain't thrown to him, he good. He can strap up. Watch him. He strap up if the ball ain't thrown to him. But as soon as the ball thrown to him, he start panicking, bro. He can't find the football. Yeah. He tries his best to track through the receiver. And sometimes he's successful, but if not, it's a penalty or he gets beat on it. And more times than not, that's kind of. And when I say sometimes, sometimes it works out for him, but most times it's the negative. And I think that's kind of the frustrating thing from the fan base, just as well as it is probably the coaching staff. Because if it was anything other than what we perceive it, he would still be on the field.
Nah, I agree. It's wild. You know what's so wild? I thought Mike Davis was worse than Ben. And I'm not a big Ben person. Everybody knows that I'm not a big Ben person. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna act like there's some people. I have a lot of folks. I have folks on the show that cover the team, and I can tell they like the kid. I can tell they like Benjamin St. Juste because they're always nice about it. I was like, yo, he not. I used to be like, yo, he's not even better than Emmanuel Forrest. They're like, you would rather have Emmanuel Forrest than him? I'm like, yeah, really, I would. Personally, that's me though. Not saying Emmanuel Forrest is great, but I'm saying that's how low I think of Benjamin St. Juste. Just gonna keep it a being.
Unfortunately, both of them are even though Emmanuel Forbes got out the door first, I think both of them are on their way out. so honestly, it was y'all was debating about mid. You know what I'm saying?
No facts.
It's the truth.
Facts.
It is a little sad, man. I think this was a year if there was things going to be turned around for both of them. Emmanuel Forbes, he's a person who can make plays on the football. But like that don't mean nothing if you ain't like you can catch the football. You got hands, but you got to cover too, and you got to be able to defend. You got to be able to tackle. He can't do none of that. At least consistently enough. Funny enough, he's with the Rams, and I don't even know what he's playing like. I don't even know if he's on the field. I'm about to check.
He's active. He is active. Does he plays a whole different thing?
I'm about to say, I'm about to take a look.
Yeah,
now.
That's what I'm saying. He's been active. I know that. Okay. Like his first game, he wasn't active. He was active. Now he playing. That's a whole different beast. I won't tell you that.
Let's see if we can find him.
I know he active because he on IG posting like him on.
He on IG posting. Oh, he in his uniform.
In his uniform. That's what I know.
In his uniform. Okay, let's see what his game law is talking about.
It's probably 0-0-0.
Yeah, with the Rams, yeah, he played. They got him on special teams.
Yeah, okay. You can tell he don't. I can tell he don't play.
That man played 2 snaps.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's bad.
That's bad.
He played 2 snaps, and that was the last game. He probably gonna play a lot. He gonna play a lot this week since they resting everybody.
Yeah, so this will be a game. If you want to if people want to dissect them, this is the game.
Yeah, checking on Emmanuel Forbes.
Exactly. You know, checking on him. All right, question from Paul, man. You said a question. I think C-Rod should get more reps this game. Do you think he'll get more reps this game?
I think this week is a good time for Washington to test the theory. I think that Brian Robinson has been dealt a bad hand. I'm gonna get to C-Rod because I know he asked that question. Mm-hmm. But I think Brian Robinson has been dealt a bad hand, and I think there's 2 things. I think he's at fault, but I also think the biggest thing is like the offensive line. It's hard to get a person like Brian Robinson going if the offensive line can't establish any sense of consistency or like generate any push off the line. Mm-hmm. And what does that look like for Brian if that's the case? You're getting hit at the line of scrimmage. You're getting met by unblocked defenders. And you're asking him to navigate traffic at the line of scrimmage and make him look like Adrian Peterson. He ain't that. He can't jump cut at the drop of a dime. Well, LaShawn McCoy, like he ain't got that type of wiggle. He got power. He got to get downhill a little bit. And what does that look like for an offensive line when you're talking about like I said, they can't generate push consistently. But they also have people who are going the wrong way in some of their blocking schemes, right? Mm-hmm. They also have people who are just straight up losing in their one-on-ones. All of those things are detrimental to the ability of establishing a run game, which is why I always harp back to like what they need to build on going into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. What does that look like for B-Rob? And that thing, he struggles. Now, another thing that B-Rob struggles in personally as a player, against the Atlanta Falcons, he did a lot of dancing. I think that like some of his moves that he was doing as opposed to planting and getting upfield, I think there was like some slower decision making. I think that he hurt himself in terms of some of the yards that he could gain. I think that like some of his movements, because you're on your heels a lot, you can't move forward or you can't fall forward. You're falling backwards a little bit more than people are accustomed of us seeing from you. And what C-Rod looks like and why you should test the theory or why you could test the theory against the Dallas Cowboys, his reps that Chris Rodriguez have seen, I think he's had like 13, 14 carries on the season. Yeah. But like even some of his 2 or 3 yard gains you've seen some bursts, you've seen some lateral quickness, you've seen him generate power from just a little bit amount of space between him and the defender. And I think those things are intriguing, especially when you have a person that is that hungry of a running back who's executing in other facets of the game, such as pass blocking. He's receiving out of the backfield. Those are things where it's like if I'm a coach, I'm like, all right, well, if we can extend his role against Dallas, let's see what that looks like before the playoffs get here. Because if we can use him, you got to think like Austin Eckler, he's practiced full like 2 or 3 times this week, which is a good sign for the playoffs. But if they choose not to go that route, like, let's see how we can maximize Chris Rodriguez going into the playoffs because he looks good against Dallas. Yep. We can really change the tone in the wild card weekend and have a true change of pace situation with with Rodriguez and Brian Robinson. I think we can work with this. So I think there's an opportunity there. All that to say.
No, I'm with you. I think that he should get some burn, especially being the last game of the season with the Cowboys against the Cowboys. Something that you could see going into the postseason. And I wouldn't because the Eckler is so valuable. So that's one of my other players who is valuable. I'm glad he's practicing in full, but you're coming off a concussion, and like with a concussion, the more rest you get, the better. Like, and I would
Yeah.
prefer I know the 60, it's to be competitive and to get the 60 may be important to Washington, but I think another week of Eckler coming off a concussion would be good just to sit him. You know what I mean? Like it would be good.
Oh yeah, I ain't got no. He better not play against Dallas.
Yeah, I would hope he doesn't play. Non-swirl zone. What's up? What's up, homie? He said peace and Africanism. Wole. What's up, dude? He said, "Oh, who's the MVP? Josh Allen or Lamar?" I've always Lamar. To me, it's Lamar. He and head to head, he beat Josh Allen. He smashed him too. So it's like not even for me. It's Lamar.
Yeah, I think it's Lamar too. I did think though for like it was like a 4-week stretch where Josh was cooking.
Facts.
And like he still ain't playing bad, but like that 4-week stretch, he was cooking. It was part of the stretch where he beat the Chiefs, and I think he beat another team.
He beat the Chiefs. He beat
the Lions. He beat they came out on fire against the Lions. And I'm like, yeah, bro, like this might be his year, like his first time getting it. But at the end of the day, when Lamar he had his run early on, but he still finished the season strong too. I think he has like 37 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Oh man, Lamar's having unbelievable.
And he has like 6 or 7 more rushing touchdowns. So like it's he close to 4K yards too, 4K passing yards, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Lamar having like as a passer is having an amazing year.
Yeah, he had his little, I think, 300-yard day against us.
Yeah,
39, 39-55. He had 39-55, and he had 323 against us. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, Benji was getting work. That's another. Wait. I'm leaving Benji alone. Because he was
323 against us, bro. Yeah. Oh my lord.
Yeah, Benji was getting work. I called that the Oprah game for Benji because they were Oprah. Like. Yeah, you can get completion. You get it, like because it didn't matter which receiver it was because everybody thought it just wasn't Zay because Bateman gave him work too. Everybody gave Benji work that game.
Funny enough, I think Zay had 100 in the first half.
I know he did. Yeah, and Bateman had like a vicious game too. I was like, yeah. But you know what? I told myself I was going to be. I wasn't in 2025. I'll be nicer to Benji, so I'm going to be nicer to Benji in 2025.
Well, I mean, honestly, bro, what you got about a few more weeks and you ain't got to
yeah, true. I don't gotta deal with him. But so much. Hey, Mike said, "I want to see Luke get more involved with the wide receiving core."
Well, what you think about Luke? Okay.
So this is. I'm gonna be real. I came into it the season saying it was a nepotism thing. I was really like one of those people. I was like, I don't like he went to Rice. I'm not into this. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, and I know I'm a Michigan fan. He was like the quarterback in Michigan. It's like I'm not gonna really even doing anything. But after that, like when he came, like so when I saw him play in preseason, I was like, he wasn't whatever. But then I started watching. So I started watching folks like yourself and whoever cut film, and he was getting open. Like I was like, he gets open. Like he does get open. So I went from all right. You know, he's okay. And I started really liking him a lot more recently. I liked him a lot in teams. I just like the way he runs. I think he runs tough. You know what I mean? He's not like I'm not gonna say he ain't a bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? He don't run like a bitch. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it kind of endeared me to it because I just like tough players. And then, you know, even on small plays, like he got a wide receiver bubble screen and like the effort he put to get like certain yardage. I was like, all right, I would like to see him hit the ball a lot more. Now I'm not gonna be here and say that I think he's a true difference maker, but I do think in his role, his physicality, what he brings to the table as a blocker, the willingness and the drive to extend plays and try to make a big play. I'm cool with him. I like him. I've grown to like him.
Yeah, like I remember when you asked me, like, does he get open? I was like, well, I mean, if you want to know like a yes or no, sure, he gets open. But like, I don't think like when you look at like you mentioned, he runs hard. Yeah. And I think like at this point, like he runs his routes basically at full speed. Like he don't really have like the nuance of and subtlety of like having this tempo together. And I don't think that's a negative as a rookie. That's also not the reason why he's not necessarily playing. I think there's been other players who stepped up, such as Noah Brown before he got hurt. Like Noah Brown had stepped up, and Luke McCaffrey's snaps started going down. If you all follow Luke McCaffrey's snap count, really started going down when the divisional game started to hit. That road game against Philly, he saw like 12 snaps. And it really ain't been the same since. And I think for Washington, they just trust other guys right now. And I think that's just kind of the case for the situation he's in. I think that Luke is I trust his hands. I think that as a receiver, he still needs some more development. It's unfortunate that like some of the plays that were available to him, he probably had two big ones that he actually got targeted, and it just didn't work out. The biggest one was the one against Pittsburgh where he had that over route, and Jaden Daniels in the back of the end zone, like they're pinned in the back of the end zone. And he overthrows Luke.
Yeah.
But if you catch that, like Luke beat Cuz off the line. Like that's how good of a route it was, or just a release. And he beat him off the line. You catch that, you talking about a house call, right? And your whole trajectory and perception of how the fans perceive you, changes. But I just think like outside of those like one or two moments, because the play didn't happen, this is what we're left with. I just think that you just gotta accept the fact that like next year is probably gonna be the year where he'll have more opportunity. Think about it. It's right now they're gonna bring receivers in. Don't get me wrong, but it's only Terry and Luke on the roster.
Yeah,
you don't have. They should bring back OZ, but you don't have OZ. You don't have Jamison Crowder. You don't have Noah Brown. You don't have
you won't have
KJ Osborne. You don't have Diami.
Yeah,
you ain't got none of them. So they ain't got nobody on the roster outside of those two. So they're gonna have to find a way to make it work. Of course, they're gonna bring in more people, but like right now, they just like Luke just is not in the mixing. And honestly, like why bring Luke in right now when the receiving core they doing a solid job? Like Jamison Crowder is making plays for this offense. Like you don't have a reason to really bring in Luke. You really don't. Not right now.
You would bring back Zacchaeus for real?
Yeah, bring back Zacchaeus. I want to look at him like I've always thought. And I did a film session on him too. Like I've always thought that he was a good depth piece. Like I never considered him more than like a number 3 in an offense. I've never seen that. I just think for people that didn't know him, you got to understand what he brings to the table. And I think right now, him stepping up in absence of a Noah Brown and Diami for that matter, you just know what he's capable of. Like he's the person he could catch passes at the line of scrimmage. He can win on the intermediate level. Like even like that route that he dropped, like he went 8 for 8. Let me rephrase. He went 8 of 9 in terms of his targets in the Atlanta game. And that one he dropped, he played against 2-man with the 2-man, the cover 2-man with the middle of the field wide open. He wins inside and he breaks inside to create that small bit of separation. Jaden throws a dime. Unfortunately, he drops the pass, but like he read the coverage right. He broke in where he needed to, and like he got open enough. But that's just one of those games where it's like I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna make these plays, and it's time for people to really like know what he's capable of. It's good that he's in this offense because the last two years Philadelphia disrespected him, and then the year before that Atlanta didn't have like a lot of respect for him in terms of what he can bring to the table. Look at his numbers this year compared to his last 2 years. He crushing it, and I think that's what you want out of like your number 3, your number 4 guy.
I mean, I want to root for Olamide Zacchaeus. He has like a Nigerian name, so I kind of like want to root for him.
Yeah,
maybe I wasn't.
They was on my ass. I said his name wrong in the film session. All the Nigerian
folks got it.
Oh my goodness! I was like, all right, bro, I'm not gonna mess up ever again. They was on my ass, man.
No, I told
it was like, crazy.
It's wild because like I want to root for the dude, right? And then he started looking bad, like the botches on special teams and has the drops. And I was like, bro, you cannot have any more Jaleel Rice in your life, bro. Like you cannot be part of the team no more.
I forgot I forgot. I ain't gonna lie to you. I forgot all about that. Like man, that's part of the thing with opinions. Like I get it. It's a little concerning sometimes, but like, and it's also good that Jameson's back. Because I mean, and it's funny though, because he bobbled one. Ain't nobody say nothing about that.
Oh yeah, he's bobbled a couple.
They was on Zacchaeus But like that's the thing. Like when people have that opinion of a person, or I mean, of a player, it's hard to shake it. And Zacchaeus, like he had a couple bobbles, but he never really fumbled one until he did that one time against Pittsburgh. But I just think Zacchaeus he's a solid role guy. He can fill your depth out. And I think he found a home in Washington. I ain't gonna lie to you. He only 27 too. Like think about that. You get him on a 2-year deal. Let him cook with Jaden.
No, he was solid. I think the last 2 games he's been solid. Other than the one drop, right? But they, Jaden still saved it. But the last 2 games against the Eagles, and then look at Atlanta, he's been solid. So like I said, he's back. I'm inviting him back to get your loaf. I told him that. Like after I did the show after that, I was like, yeah, somebody like came at me, like, so is Zacchaeus good with you now? I said, he's good with me now. Like he's good with me. We back.
Yeah. We back you got the pan ready for him, bro.
I got it, bro. I got everything, man. I got the fufu. I got the jollof. It's all ready, bro. We here. Puff, moi. We here. Make sure
he hear this, man. Like we got open arms for you, bro.
Open
Sign that
arms,
extension.
Exactly. This is one thing I tell folks, man. Like I can go in, but when you show me wrong, when you show me different, then I can say I'm wrong. I'm cool with saying I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? I ain't with that. You know what? I said this. I'm a down.
Stand 10 toes in it. Look like a fool.
Yeah.
I get it, bro. It's hard for people to do that. I'm in the same boat. Like if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But saying when I'm right, I'm like, I told you.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what I do. I'm like, told you. You know what I mean? Like, when folks were saying Terry ain't a number 1, I was like, okay. And then when he started putting the numbers, I was like, where y'all at now though?
All right, well, what are you saying number 1? What are you saying like number 1 as in like
number 1,
like a 1A, like a bona fide number 1, like
number 1?
Like, how you defined?
I think he's number 1 because he can number 1. He gets open, he makes big plays for you. I feel like there's levels to it. So, all right, initially, like when people have issues with Terry in the beginning of the season, like you can see that Terry is getting open, but as a rookie quarterback, it's hard. When you're a rookie quarterback, you're not seeing the whole field regardless. So I was like, that's what happens though when you have a young quarterback. You're not going to see everything. You know what I mean? And you're not going to. And what I like about Jayden, which is different from a lot of young quarterbacks, and he ain't forcing the ball anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't forcing it. Like he ain't like. All right, for instance, if you go back and watch like. Which is a different beast because his catch radius is a whole different monster because of physicality and his height. Calvin Johnson. If you watch Matthew, I always told folks that Matthew Stafford became a better quarterback after Calvin Johnson. Like he became a better quarterback in terms of reading defenses and making the right passes and whatnot. When he had Calvin, he was like, I don't care if it's 3 of y'all on him. I'm just throwing the ball up to him. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't about seeing the field. And he was, as a younger quarterback, he wasn't really seeing the field. He was just seeing Calvin. I think when it comes to somebody but Jayden not able to see in the field initially in the offense, learn the offense, that hindered Terry in the beginning. But I think eventually once he got used to Terry and had the rapport with Terry, you get to see what Terry's about. I think Terry's a solid number 1. I think there's levels to it. There's a Justin Jefferson, there's a Jamar Chase, there's a Tyreek Hill. There's levels to number 1. Like there's levels to it. Like and the other individuals, I feel like Terry is just as good as. Like for instance, a lot of people bring up CeeDee Lamb, and I like CeeDee Lamb coming out of college. But also on the flip side, I always tell folks like about CeeDee Lamb is he's targeted a lot. Like he gets a lot, and he gets put in positions where they key him on the mismatches. Like they'll put CeeDee Lamb on the inside a lot. A lot of times he play inside more than outside. Because they want to get they want to give him that matchup where he can kind of take over that nickel or you can see there's a linebacker on him. You know what I mean? So I'm like, Terry's never really been utilized that way, like other receivers. But because he's always in beginning of the year, as everybody's chronologized, he's been on that one side for the majority of the game with Cliff, right? Everybody's kind of like throwing that out there. And then you see a lot of receivers have been moved around. But for me, I got Terry. I have Terry as a solid 1 for me. But if you're telling me levels to it, like compared to who? If you're talking about compared to Chase, Jefferson, and company, yeah, he'd be a 1A compared to them dudes, like, or not compared to them dudes. He wouldn't be a those are bona fide to me, thorough 100 ones.
Yeah, I think, and I think he's a 1B.
Okay.
I don't think that's a knock. Cause like if you I think Terry has. I actually spoke about this earlier. I think Terry is in a situation where you finally see what he can do with
With a
a
quarterback.
competent quarterback, a consistent quarterback, an accurate quarterback,
Mhm.
all of those things. And he's finally getting put on the map with his production.
Yeah.
There's also games where you can see he has his misfits. And like a team or a player can really hinders his ability. A defensive back can really hinder his ability to produce.
Mhm.
And I think for Terry, right, Rory said it like he said
I
a
like
good
this.
deal. Like, he's not elite,
Mhm.
but he can make plays. And what his strength is tracking the football, uh, contested catches, and his foot speed. Like he
Mhm.
can. Well, I mean, it was his foot speed. Nowadays, I like I've seen like the biggest play that I've seen him make this year, like from a foot speed standpoint, was the Dallas catch,
Yeah.
where he weaved the entire defense untouched for like 80 yards.
Mhm.
Like that was like the biggest example. But Terry can be explosive, and I think that's kind of the thing that really helps him. But like I said, it's tracking, it's catching in traffic. Like he has some of the most contested catches uh in the NFL since he's been drafted. I forgot the
Mhm.
exact number. But he literally leads. He's like, if not number one, he's like number two in the NFL in contested catches since he's been in the NFL. So
Mhm.
like what he brings to the table. You can trust him. And that's kind of like his situation. But he's not the person where you can't. He's not a volume catch guy. He's not a person you can
Mhm.
trust it against any DB, against any coverage. And it's like, you know what, Terry, we called this play, but I don't give a damn what you run. Just get open and I'll find you. Like he can't do that.
Mhm.
There's other receivers out there who can do that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the difference between like an elite number 1A compared to like your 1B who can really thrive in any offense. But you gotta have him like produce however which way the scheme sees him fit.
Mhm.
I think that's where Terry is. Like he can fit within the scheme, he can fit within most schemes, but you aren't necessarily asking him to make the play and create. But I think what was impressive was that Cincinnati game, him realizing, I think he switched sides. He told Cliff to let him switch sides and run that
Yeah.
stop and go against that DB in Cincinnati because the dude was tired and he took
Mhm.
advantage of that. I mean, that's a form of creativity. That's a form of getting open.
Mhm.
So it's not all like within the route. Like if you see something pre-snap or if you see something before a play, that is a form of creativity, and he made that happen. So like there's other ways where he finds a way to get open. And I love to know exactly all the angles that helped him this season create some plays that he's made so far.
Would you say like? Because I think that's a good point. Would you say that his body? I mean, we all know he's not a hands dude, so I'm not going to even get to that. Like we all know that's like one of the issues, right? But would you say is his body type like his like lack of height would be an issue with that? Like, because like for instance, somebody like Hopkins, he didn't create a bunch of separation, but you knew you can just throw him the ball, like, and he would come down with it because of like the way he can angle, like he angled his body, how he positions himself, and also just his catch radius. Do you think that plays a part?
Uh, mm, I think he has a pretty good catch radius.
Okay.
I think he knows how to attack a football. Like that's where he uses his hands the most when he can attack a football. Like I'm sorry, when he does attack a football is where he uses his hands the most. Typically, he's a
Yeah.
body catcher,
Yeah.
but like you've seen moments if you go back in, like if you just do your memory flash and he's going up to go get a pass, like and he's in a 1-on-1 and he jumps up there, you can't help but use your hands in that moments, right? Like
Yeah.
he's done that. I think the game against the Chargers, he's done that. I think against Indianapolis one time with Taylor Heineke threw the effort ball
Yeah.
against Stephon Gilmore. He went up and got it. There's moments where you see him like in a jump ball situation, he'll attack it with his hands. But
Yeah.
most part, body catcher, right?
Yeah.
But what does that mean in terms of like his height or his frame? Like not necessarily because Deontay Johnson, for the trouble that he's been in this year, if you watch his career in Pittsburgh, he's elite at the catch point, and he's only 5'10". He don't
Gotcha.
even jump for real.
Okay.
Like that man has late hands. He reacts to the ball late. it makes it difficult on DBs, like, and that's the terms of creativity at the catch point. That some people, like, if you have a disadvantage, like he ain't got the longest arms, Deontay Johnson. But he got some good hands in terms of like how he can really make plays at the catch point. And I think if you understand your body and understand like ways where you can get open from yourself, for yourself, I think those are the things that help. And Terry, again, some contested catches, he don't even care. Like, he don't care like where the defender is. He's gonna go make the play, or he'll take the big hit if he has to. But I don't think his frame or his body or his height really gets in the way.
Okay. Now I just want to see if that was your thought process. Yeah, I mean, they're elite. I like what Roy said earlier. Like, elite and number ones are different. I guess for me, like, I wouldn't put Terry in elite. Like, I really wouldn't. And I love Terry. Everybody knows I love Terry. I just wouldn't put him in elite because I do think that elite composes of everything. It's more than just like you get open. It's again like being a hands dude, running great routes. You know, being able to be, to be the big play dude. It's all that's encompassing.
But that's another thing, like the route running. Like, that's what you have to ask. Like, do you think Terry runs like great routes? And what do you like his strengths is, because that's one of the things I didn't acknowledge. I don't think he runs like great routes.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think he, now to be clear,
I break down film like thoroughly. So I be telling folks all the time, like, I ain't that person. So, but go ahead. I'm interested to hear you.
To be clear, I think he runs good routes.
Yeah.
Right. But I think part of the elite conversation is where I'm getting at. Like, in terms of like being able to break somebody down, like that's not his specialty. And that's kind of part of the reason, like, what do you bring to the table? Like, you got to have like a few elements that make you elite. And that's kind of where you think about things like that. And like I said, I think Terry is definitely a one. He's a receiver one, but I think he's like on the B side versus like an A side. Because you gotta like, you gotta know what strengths he brings. I don't think he necessarily brings like several qualities of an elite player. He has a couple. But that's kind of where it is, bro.
No, I get you. All right, so before like just get into like this Cowboys game, if there's one thing that you wanted to see on Sunday, what would that be from this team?
It's a good question. It's hard to, let's put it this way: no penalties, or I mean, penalties are gonna happen. So let's say not a ton of penalties. That's been a conversation or an issue like the last few weeks. So let's say limit the penalties. No turnovers. Absolutely no turnovers from your offense. Have a clean game. And let's get at least 90 yards from the running backs. Like, the run game on defense, that's going to be a huge question mark. But I don't expect them to really, like, for the issues that we named earlier, I don't expect them like completely shut down Dallas Cowboys. I think what's the running back name?
Was it
for the Commanders? I said for the Commanders. My bad. For the
Cowboys.
He
had a good game versus last time, which he should
look at that. Rico Dowdle. My bad. Rico Dowdle. I think they found some momentum behind him, and I think he's gained some confidence. Just generally as a running back this year, as the weeks went along. So I don't necessarily see them shutting him down. But like, let's see if we can limit the explosives in the run game defensively. So I kind of clean this up. What do I want to see? Less penalties, significantly less penalties, no turnovers whatsoever, at least 90 yards from the running backs. And then let's limit the explosives in the run game.
Yeah, I'm with that. For me, my number one, because it's been my thing throughout the season. Just do well. Just do better at stopping the run. I'm not going to even go. I'm not even for like. I won't even be like shut them down because I'm at the point now where it's just not. That's not a thing.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not.
Joe Witt even acknowledged it. He's like, I'm not happy about it, but we gotta fix it.
I'm not gonna even get into saying like, oh, we need to shut down like the Cowboys run game. Just do your best. Like, do your best.
Try hard.
Try hard, man. Like, I don't need like gashing for like 30-yard runs or things of that sort. I get when you like Saquon, Bijan, when you got that type of ability, when you're just a gifted football player. I get that, but like, I don't need somebody to go 15, 20 yards without being touched. Like, I don't need that. Like, so that's where I'm at right now. So just do better. Just do better, man. Try your hardest. I want to see real effort when it comes to stuff. I want people really rallying into the football when it comes to stopping the run. Like, I'm all for that. Like, you're rallying into the football. I'm good with that. Mike got a question. He said, "Do you guys believe Jonathan Allen will still get traded next season?" Let's see how this plays out. That's how the season plays out. I think a lot of people want Jonathan Allen to be traded. Let's just see how it plays out.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The way this season went, it's not like good. Like with or without him, the run defense was any better.
Yeah.
But he's like a pass rusher that the interior needs.
True.
It sucks that he ain't going into the next season with he ain't got no guaranteed money on his contract.
No.
So that brings a dilemma for him and for the team, because it's like, do we want to? And it also depends on, like, does he want to restructure his contract? Who knows?
Yeah.
But think about what he brings, and I think what he brings to the team is an interior pass rush that has been lacking for Washington. And I think you can use that at least next year.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I might be tripping, but I don't remember even. I did discuss trade ideas for the contract reasons, but I don't know if they should pull the trigger now.
Yeah, a lot of folks are like, in terms of trying to get I think people were trying to think about for draft picks, like if they can throw him in to see if they can move up in the draft in a certain situation. I know folks are throwing that out there, but I don't really think Jonathan Allen's getting traded. Personally, I don't believe it. But if it happens, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm gonna put that out there too as well. Mike said, Would you say, Mo?
No, I said it could be.
Mike said, stopping the run penalty. She said stopping the run penalties and help Jaden so he doesn't run out of breath by putting the game on his shoulders. Bro, we should have this game over at the first quarter. I don't even need all that, bro. The game should be over in the first quarter. Jaden shouldn't even have to go through Superman mode, for real. I ain't gonna hold you. It's Trey Lance's playing. Like, let me say it again. Trey Lance playing. It is what it is. Paul, I wonder is it players on or the scheme. Dallas had issues with the run last year. You said we had issues with Dallas run last year?
No, I think he's saying I think he's talking about the defensive line and defense for Washington.
Oh, because they double team the they always double team the tackles. That's last year's scheme, though. It's different.
You just gotta find people who are good against it. We just don't have the defensive tackles. I think the thing that Washington's tackles bring to the table is their pass rush presence. And that's why Sheldon Day exists. That's why Big Phil was. I thought, like, that's my guy. I thought that he was going to be a big piece to this team, in terms of like the run game. But like, they still don't have the pieces to really. I like Sheldon too, funny enough. But like, they just don't have like the big bodies on rundowns that can really shut it down like completely. They have moments throughout games where they can shut it down. They do a really good job like that. After Saquon's first 7 carries in that second game, that was all real. That was all Washington shutting Saquon down. Like, that was a real thing. So like, they can do it. It's just like, you need to see a full game of it. And so that's kind of, I don't think it's a scheme thing. I really just generally think it's having the players to get it done.
When you break down your film on Mathis, was it bad?
No,
I thought not too.
Like, I think the thing is, like, they said it. There's 2 things I think. They acknowledge Carl, what's his name? Carl Davis.
Yeah.
They said that, he just outperformed him in practice. Like, the competition doesn't stop on the field. Like, they said he outperformed him in practice, and he basically got his job took. But I also think the second thing is, like, they not fond on Ron Rivera's guy. Oh, I said his name. I never. I call him oh Lord Jesus, I said his name, but they not fond of his guys, bro, and they've made it very evident, and it's easy to move on from those guys. So, of course, they got a couple that's still around, but for the most part, if they feel like you are on par with some of the people that they bring in, they just gonna go with the guys that they brought in, and that's what they've done to this point.
Yeah, I kind of think. I kind of agree with you on the last one because I didn't think Phil deserved to be benched, but that like to
Yeah, I
be
don't think he did
inactive,
either.
to be inactive. Like I don't think he deserved that.
I don't think he did either, bro. I think it's clear cut. They had their mind made up once they found the guy.
Yeah,
And you know it is what it is. It's frustrating from my perspective, but I'm not going like I be playing on Twitter. Like my joke is like that's my superstar. He really is. I really do think he's going to do good things in the
I agree with you.
NFL. But at the same time, like if that's what their decision is, unfortunately, it is what it is.
I'm gonna say this much because I said this. I think it's just not. It wasn't fair because I thought just like you, we talk about Jazan, right? He flashed. Phil flashed a bit. He flashed a bunch of times. So I don't know. Like I just don't think it was fair. Like there's play that you can, especially when you see bad play on the field by others. It makes you. It kind of has you just look a certain way. Like yeah, we talk about Benji, whatever. How many opportunities Benji get on the football field? You know what I'm saying? To be out there with the starting unit and to get burned or to have a penalty or a PI or whatever. How many opportunities does he get? But like when we see flashes and good play from Mathis, but then all of a sudden he's inactive and now he's waived. It just looks funny. You know what I'm saying? It just looks funny.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know the thing is, like I said, when people mention when I talked about the OZ thing, about like him like having that one like bobble snap, like when you got their opinion on the player, they're just going to dive in on it, and you know people ain't going to like think twice about Big Phil. You know if they ain't really care for him, you know they ain't going to ask like they not going to ask the question like yo why is he getting why is his time getting snubbed? Why are they so focused on not playing him? Like the run game ain't improved with the people that y'all put in. So
you said it for me. That's what I was about because I feel like I ain't gonna lie to you. I feel like it got worse since they inactivated him. That's just my opinion. I don't have the stats. I feel like it got a little worse.
Yeah, I don't think it's gotten better. So it's like y'all make these decisions, bro, and I think I don't have no problem giving credit where it's due with AP and Dan Quinn and all those guys. But I ain't afraid to talk about some of the things where I question some of these decisions that they have going on too. Like that's one of them ones where I'm like, you know, why and is your alternative working?
Yeah.
And the answer is it's not.
No, I agree with you, bro. I definitely agree with you. Telly says it was fair to Jaden for AP to not build any true weapons around Jaden. Jaden turning water into wine.
I mean, year one, bro. Yeah, rookie.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta get that time to grow. The offseason, you know, the offseason meaning this one coming up. The offseason is right around the corner. Like you got 4 more years. You better that your Super Bowl window has officially opened up. Like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like the Super Bowl window is open. So use these 4 years, use these next 3 off seasons to really take advantage of the rookie contract that Jaden's on. And don't hold back. Like know what your weaknesses are, know where you can improve, whether it's draft, free agency, or trade, and get it done. And don't waste no time because if you can get a Super Bowl, at least one Super Bowl out of Jaden's rookie contract, then that's as good as it gets. If you get 2, amazing. But if you get 1, like I'm like these aren't even far-fetched conversations anymore. This is a real conversation to have. If you get 1, we're talking you're in great shape. And for AP to do that as the first GM hire under Josh Harris group, man. And it'd be great for Dan Quinn too, bro. Like Dan Quinn is in a situation where like he went through hell after that 28-3 loss. Like the perception around Dan in the DMV, like when they was entertaining him.
Oh, it wasn't good. I was one of them too. I was one of them. I can hold you. I was one of them.
Yeah, it was bad, bro. So like the turnaround and what he can do, like it's nothing short of amazing if they can take advantage of Jaden's rookie contract.
No, I'm with you, bro. Dan said, would you like to see more of Ben Sinnott involved with the offense? Hoping Ertz gets his incentive bonus, then let the backups tight ends play. Ben Sinnott I guess he'll play. I mean, he could play.
Look,
So what's your feeling about Ben Sinnott? I want to hear you. That's all because what's your thoughts about Ben Sinnott?
I was about to say my reaction or my opinion ain't too much different from yours. Like the energy or excitement that I have behind him, it's not that large. I mean, we're talking about a guy like I think about it like this. We talked about Luke McCaffrey, we talked about Ben Simmons, right?
Yeah.
We talked about two people at two positions where it's like who's in front of them, what's working, and what would these two provide that's any different than Zach Ertz and all the receivers in front of Luke McCaffrey. Yeah. I think Ben is his time will probably come. I think he needs to develop a little bit as a receiver more.
There you go.
Sure, he can catch passes and he's a powerful runner. But there's nuances of the route running part that I think he should continue working on, right? Yeah. But outside of that, like Zach Ertz is a person where like who's in front of him who has that already down packed. Like he ain't gonna bring you too much after the catch, but he knows how to get open. He understands coverages. He has good hands and he's shifty as a route runner. Yeah. And I think those are the elements that Washington needs. Think about it like this: for those who want Ben Simmons in, and now that you've seen 17 games of Zach Ertz, if Zach Ertz wasn't on this roster, what would this tight end position look like?
There you go. That's a good one. It wouldn't look good at all, bro.
It wouldn't good.
It wouldn't look good, man. It wouldn't look good.
Ain't nobody on this roster do what Zach Ertz does.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't look good.
That's what I've been saying. It's wild. That's what I've been preaching throughout. Because when folks were getting on Zach Ertz, like, oh, he always falls as soon as he gets hit and this, that, and the other. I was like, you just gotta see the importance of what he brings to the table for a rookie quarterback. Like he is reliable. You know what I'm saying? So big ups. But yeah, I totally agree with you. So real quick before I let you go, homie. We already talked about some of your major points about what you want to see on Sunday. So for the Cowboys, what threatens you the most from the Cowboys standpoint for the Washington Commanders? What threatens you the most?
Well, shoot, Mike is still playing.
Yeah, I know. That's what kills me.
Yeah, Mike. I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. I think Mike is still playing. I think as long as he's on the field, that's somebody that you got to worry about. I think he can wreck games. You got to remember, like that first game that we played, that the way they used Michael was impressive. Like they used him as your wide 9 guy, like far outside the tight end. They used him as your 3 tech guy. Caused havoc inside from the interior. Like they moved him around the defensive line, and Washington struggled to protect Jaden in those moments where they change things up. Like Washington loves to block and release with their chip guys, their tackle help. They had Micah Parsons mugging the hell out of the chip guys, so they wouldn't even get out to a pass route. Like he just drive them into the backfield, and it's like that's how you disrupt the play. He's a disruptor, and that's not going to change in week 18. So that was relatively an obvious answer for me. It's Micah Parsons, bro. You can't let him disrupt the game.
Yeah, that's why I don't want Jaden to play. See, that's why I asked it.
Hey, man, he gonna be like Jaden. Michael's gonna be there next year too. You got to get a dub against him.
That's true. That's true. I just don't need him being hit before my guy needs to play off game. And this is one last question from Telling before I let you go. He says, "Was the Lattimore trade a bad one? Is it? Or is it too early to tell? It's not a bad trade, in my opinion. But go ahead."
Bad, no, but I think there was red flags all over it. I think one of the things that they was very transparent about when they acquired Marshawn was understanding that, if they took this risk, they knew that it wasn't really going to hurt them, like from the compensation that they gave up, right? But like he had lower body injuries, the soft tissue things that was all like throughout his last 3-4 years in the NFL. It was all written all over his injury history. So like they knew what they was going to do when they took that gamble. And lo and behold, he made it a game and a half before he got hurt again. and he was already sitting out for like 5 weeks. And he got hurt again. So is it a bad trade? Not yet. But the red flags was all over it. So you still got 2 more years with Marshawn. I think you'll give him a little bit more time next year too. If he can play in the playoffs, all is forgiven. Whether it's 1 game or 2 games or X amount of games, if he can play a full game, at least like full games in the playoffs, we can worry about that conversation later. But if he's unavailable in the playoffs too, that ought to tell you exactly early on, like they ain't really make the right decision, like
Mm.
taking that risk. But the good thing is you got them a couple more years. So
Yeah, I agree with that. Totally agree with that. Sorry, before I let you go, man, let folks know how they can catch you on social media. Yo, plug all your shows, bro, all of it. And so folks can know when you're airing, what you got coming up, period. All of it.
well, I appreciate you having me, man. We got to go ahead and get you on Trap or Dive, bro. I don't remember the last time we really tried to schedule anything. So let's get you on as soon as possible. And for me, you can follow me on socials at Let More Tell It. Trap or Dive is on Twitter as well as Instagram and obviously YouTube platforms. I do the morning show. I'm solo on the morning show. It's Wednesdays and Fridays, 6 a.m. So for the morning crew. I'm up early. You can catch live Commanders content 6 a.m. Wednesdays and Fridays. Then obviously we do the Trap or Dive podcast on the Commanders side Tuesdays, Thursdays, and then obviously post games as well. And then all 32 is every Wednesday, 7 p.m. With the NFL crew side. That's the people that you're looking at right now next to me. Putting on some Vaseline, them crusty ass lips. But yeah, that's kind of the whole schedule with the Trap or Dive side, man. So appreciate you having me, Wale.
Man, thanks for being on, man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you for coming on, man. So this has been dope, folks. Make sure y'all go on the YouTube channel right now. Subscribe to the Trap or Dive podcast on YouTube. Just search it; it's there. Subscribe. You know what I'm saying? You guys support everybody, bro, who doing this content thing. So yeah, make sure I subscribe. You go on all the socials, follow, like, and do all that good stuff too as well. Hey, Ma, appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir. Take it easy,
man.
Have
All right. Awesome, man. Maul, cool as this other side of the pillow, man. Real good dude. Oh man, thank you. Oh, no problem, homie. No problem. Let me change my screen. Knock this joint out. Let's get it. Yeah, Maul. Cool, man. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Trap or Dive pod, man. So I want to see y'all do it right now. Like, do it now. You already know he know what time it is. He got good content, know what he's doing, know what he's talking about. Y'all know. What did my man Mike say? He said, guys want to lose this game so they can be in a better draft position. Yeah, I hope they do feel that way. And I hope Micah don't play the whole game. Mike gonna hold y'all, man. Why would Micah want to play this game? Dan Quinn is his boy. He shouldn't want to play this game. I don't need Micah out there. I don't need Micah out there at all creating havoc. That is one dude. If Micah playing, I was like, I do not want Jayden playing. All right, man. It's time for our prop bets. For the gamblers out there. So last week I did pretty good. Last week we had over under Zach Ertz getting 37.5 receiving yards. He had 72 yards, so I had over. Did well there. Over under Jayden Daniels getting rushing the ball for 47.5 rushing yards. I went over. He had 100 because he went 120. He got 127 rushing yards. Then over under Brian Robinson rushing for 64.5 yards. I was wrong. He had 60 yards, which because I put the over, and this fool got 60 yards. Well, you was little peed off last night about Jayden playing. I know. I don't want Jayden playing. Look, man. I really don't want Jayden playing. I almost called the score right last week. You did, bro. You did. But I don't want Jayden playing for real. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't but. I mean, if he plays, man, but I ain't gonna lie to you. Trey Lance is playing, so I'm not really feeling like Trey Lance is playing. Jay may have to see about a good 5 minutes. If we're not dominating this game in like 10 minutes, like what are we doing? Are we ready for the playoffs for real? Like Trey Lance is playing. I mean, come on. Trey Lance isn't that good. So I may not have to see Jayden that long, which would be good. Like I definitely don't want to see Zach Austin Eckler playing. Like I'll say that much. That's a guarantee. I don't want to see Austin Eckler playing. I don't think that's needed, to be real with you. You have rumors Deion Sanders might be Dallas' next coach. Yeah, I heard about that. I definitely heard about that. I could see that happening now. But then they would have to definitely get Shador. I heard it was a two. It would be Shador and Deion. There's the way they could finagle that. I don't know. I don't think that's possible. If they can find a way to finagle that, I think Deion would definitely coach the Dallas Cowboys. I can definitely see that. All right, so here's our this week over under picks. All right, here we go. It's gonna be Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin getting 60 receiving yards, over under. I'm gonna go over. No, shoot. How long he's gonna play? This is difficult because I don't know if these dudes are gonna play the whole game. Over under Terry McLaurin getting 60.5 yards. Who wants to start? I'll start for y'all. I'll start. I'm going to say over for Terry McLaurin. Oh, over. All right, Paul has over. My man Paul got over. Who else out there in the streets? Who else thinks Terry's gonna get over 60.5 yards? We got over. We got Mike's got an over. We got an over. All right, Mike's got an over. All right. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. So we're all on over. I'm with you. I'm with y'all with over. All right. Over or under Jaden Daniels throwing for 214 yards. I am going to say, because I don't think Jaden's going to play that long, I'm going to say under. Because we're going to blow this team out. I'm going to say under. Jaden throws for under 214 yards. Yeah, I know. Terry already got 1,000 yards. Terry has 1,000 here. Yeah, Terry has 1,000 yards. My bet, let's see. Under. Mike has under. Yeah, I think under. Paul has over. What's your bet? All right, my bet is low this week. I just took Justin Tucker over 1.3 kick 1.3 1 point. Yeah, Justin, are you serious? I think that's the over. I'll do that. That would be over for me. Non-swirl zone. I'd be over for me. Yeah, definitely. Oh, over. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry, I read it wrong. Yeah, you're right. Definitely over 1.5. That's a low risk one. He should definitely get over 1.5. Let's see, under. Mike, I'm with you on that, Mike. Under for Jayden. I'm with that one. All right, next. Let's go with the next one. And this is another Jayden. Over under Jayden Daniels throws for 1.5 touchdowns. Over under. So that's basically he has to throw 2 touchdowns. Over under Jayden going for 1.5 touchdowns. I'm going to say throwing. I think he's gonna run for 2. I'm gonna say under. I'm gonna go under. You going over? I'm gonna say under. I think Jay's gonna run for a couple. Oh, you said I'm guess you got over. All right, you got over. I'm gonna call it over. I thought so. Over. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna say under. I think Jay's gonna run for 2. I think he's gonna run for like 2 touchdowns, and he'll throw for 1. He'll have 3. So he'll have 3 touchdowns, but it really won't be a throwing touchdown. You know what I mean? I think he'll run for 2. Just my opinion. And then it may just get B-Rob like a BS 1-yarder touchdown or something like that. I don't know. I feel like Jayden, but all in all, that's the first quarter. We should be up like 21-0, to be real with you guys. First quarter should be 21-0. Then we all can chill, get ready for like a Commanders all burgundy and go everything post-game show. Then a Urban Sports Scene recap show later on. See what I did there? I did that. Sure did. All that happening on Sunday. I did all of that right there and then. Hey, non-swirl zone. We won't be having a Ravens because I have to do something. We won't have a Ravens pregame show for the Urban Sports Day, but I'm going to have a recap show. So letting you know, we're going to have a recap show. Let you know for the Ravens game. So FYI, just letting you know, we're going to have a Ravens recap show on Tuesday. So I'm giving you the heads up so you know. All right, but yeah, but in terms of Commanders content, Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, tune into our Commanders Cowboys recap show with Fox Sports Radio 96.9 FM at 1340 AM. Hopewell, Virginia's Commanders reporter Felix Trammell. He'll be live from Dallas, and it'll be streaming on our YouTube, X, IG, and Facebook accounts. You can also subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Hey, if you're on YouTube right now, do me a favor, hit that red subscribe button. If you haven't, hit that red subscribe button, like this video, share this video with others, share the channel with others. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're close to it. We're at 900, so we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Help us get more subscribers. So go that route. Also, you can follow us on X at Urban Sports Scene, IG, and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene, and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Also, like I mentioned earlier, make sure you check out our Urban Sports Scene website, which is www.urbansportscene.com. All right, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. You guys are dope, man. What did Mike say? 25 and 26 over 4 penalties. Yo, Mike, facts. It's going to happen. To combine? Yeah, combine, definitely. Definitely, because they're both will probably be out there for real. That I can definitely see that. Anyway, man, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like y'all been dope, man. I see y'all on X. I see y'all on Facebook. I see y'all on YouTube. Pulling up, watching. So I appreciate y'all for checking in on the show, man. Y'all are dope. Anyway, you've been listening to the Urban Sports Scene for ages. Yeti deuces. Your boy Wole is out.